Hi there, this is Art and Such with my Rainbow Loom tutorial for Tauriel from The Hobbit. I will tell you right now, for the sword all I used was some cardboard and some tinfoil and some tape, and then you pry that arm open, slip it in, but you can definitely get creative with this. We're going to make everything else together, which you see here. I used green beads for my eyes initially. In this tutorial I'm just going to use a couple of green bands, and you can use whichever you'd like. We have dark brown for the bodice, the sleeves, and the boots. A lighter brown for the hair. You can use orange if you don't have lighter brown, but the caramel is a little closer, I think, to her coloring. A pale skin tone you'll need, and you'll need your hook, a C-clip or two, and your loom in the offset configuration. This is somewhere between an easy and a moderate project. Let's start by making our arms. Arms are very straightforward, they're pretty standard. We're taking 2 single skin tone bands, wrapping them twice onto the hook. You can make it a little tighter if you want to. And we're going to pull this onto 3 sets of double brown bands. This is the color we want for her clothing. Now grab your green, and we need 4 sets of double green bands. So take your 2 singles, put them on the end with a little tension, slide over your bands, and bring your other end back, and 3 more times. And let's make our other arm the exact same way. 2 skin tone, wrap twice on 3 sets of double brown. On 4 sets of double green. These can stay on your hook, or you can put them on a different holding hook. It doesn't really matter. We're putting this on the side now and moving to our loom. We'll be making and adding our other pieces as we get to them, okay? So, coming from the top center peg to the second center peg, we're putting down 2 skin tone bands. And then we need 2 green bands to come from our second peg in the center to our second on the right. And 2 from the second center to the second left, and come down once in the middle with double green bands from your second peg to your third peg. We're going to place 1 set of double brown bands from the second to third peg on either side, and now you can place your arms right on the second pegs. Okay, now we need 2 green bands. We can actually slide these over the arms a little bit, but we'll do that in 1 second. Let's come down one more time in the middle with double green, and then from the third center peg to the second peg on the side, we're taking 2 green and bringing it over. Again, 2 green and bringing it over. Okay, now in my original here I put a very lumpy collar piece. I'm not going to make a collar in this tutorial, but I will show you how it's done if you want to have this extra kind of lumpy piece here. So if you want the really thick collar, what you do is you take a single, wrap it 3 times, and pull it onto 2 sets of double green bands. And you'll do this on 1 of these for either side. You're going to place them on the second peg down in the middle, And you're going to stretch this out, take a little piece of the chain and slide it over the second peg down. Okay? And when you loop, you just loop normally. You completely ignore this piece and forget that it's there. A second way to do this is to put it on and leave it loose. It will stick up a little bit more. And a third way is to just have a wrapped single on one set of doubles and place it like so onto that same second peg, and you'll just get a very small bulge sticking out. And there are other methods as well, but I thought I would give you some of those options for those who are interested. I am going to completely skip that part this time. I feel like it isn't really necessary after all. And I'm going to go back to my loom and come down with 4 sets of double brown bands from the middle fourth and downwards. Oh my goodness, I'm totally using the wrong brown here. Give me 2 seconds, we'll fix that. It's a problem when you work with similar colors. Get my arm back. In the meantime, those of you who are ahead of me here, you can come down on either side with one group of 6 brown bands. This is for the thicker chest area. If that seems too much to work with, or you don't care about it being a thicker chest area, then you can always place a mere 2 bands. And I'll get that going here in 1 second. Thanks. Okay, I'm going to use 8 bands. It adds that thickness. Maybe we'll use 6. I'm going to use 6 instead. 4, 6. You can pick the number that you want based on how thick you want it to be, because it is going to fold over and get to be a little bit tighter there. Now we need 2 sets of double brown bands to come down on either side, from your 4th peg to your 5th peg. And I did save 4 sets in the middle, so I'll continue filling those in. Like so. We're going to come down either side with 1 set of double green. And then take 2 brown and come from your 6th peg on the side down to your 8th peg in the middle. So you're starting where you've laid down the green band, and you're stretching it to the bottom of that last brown band that you placed on the center. Do this for the other side. And now we're coming down the rest of the way with green bands, double banding all the way to the end of the loom for each of these rows. This will be for her skirt. You can lay them out in any order, going across and down, or down individual rows, as long as you're moving in a downward direction. A couple more here. Alright, so our loom is filled. We're going to make some boots, and then we'll do our holding bands, and then we'll do an extension, and that will be it for the layout here. I'm using my dark brown again for the boots. I have to say this out loud so I remember it this time. And we're going to take 2 bands, wrap them twice. You can do it even one tighter if you'd like, and pull it onto 2 bands. But don't put the other end back yet, because we are going to pinch this. And with our other hand, take 2 more bands, put them on top, wrap them twice. Okay, now we put the other end on, and we slide this all onto a doubled over single brown band. And this gives it the little ankle curve. And our boots are going to go onto 4 sets of double brown bands. 2, 3, and 4. There's one. We'll make our other one. 2 bands wrapped twice, pulled onto 2. Oh, that's right, I was doing these tighter with the 3rd wrap. It doesn't matter terribly, I just like the way it looks a little bit better. She has sort of narrower feet than some of our other characters. Take 2, wrap twice, replace, and slide onto a doubled over single. And we need another 4 sets of double brown bands again. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. We need a single green, and we're going to double it over. Carefully slide both of your boots onto that and hold on to both ends here. We're going to be stretching this across from your bottom peg on the right to your bottom peg on the left. And get your hook between your 2 legs. Bring the center bands over. Careful, there's a lot of tension here now. Okay, lift it right over that center peg. For our holding bands, we need to start with a single. Come across all of your second pegs. So second on the right, second on the middle, second on the left, and you'll form a triangle. Just looking here, some of these have to be doubled over, and those are the top 2 greens that we're using. So we want kind of a tighter waist. It's going to narrow in our skirt a little. So take a single, double it over, and this is going to go over, this is right in the middle of the loom. It's your 7th peg down on the side to your 7th on the other side, and it will go over the 7th in the middle. So it's laying right across your brown bands. We need a single doubled over stretched in a triangle just below that. And the rest of our greens coming down are going to be singles stretched across as triangle holding bands. For our upper body brown, we have a single band coming across the 3rd pegs in a triangle formation. And then our next 3 are going to be doubled over singles. This will keep things from flopping around loose everywhere. So it cinches the waist in tightly in the upper bodice area. And the last thing before we start looping is our side extensions. And that's what's going to give it this sort of skirt part, the roundness. For this we need our our green bands, and we're going to take a single, wrap it twice, and pull it onto 7 sets of double green bands. 7. The bands that are on your hook are going to come onto your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th peg, 7th peg from the bottom. So it's the second band that has any green on it, and it falls just below the brown here. We're going to stretch it down. You're going to take your hook and put it through not the bottom cap, but the bands just above that. And this is going to go onto your bottommost peg. This gives it a teeny tiny flare. If you don't want that, then you don't have to do that part. Next, we go into each part of the chain, pull out a small single band section, and bring it over each of the pegs underneath where it corresponds here. And this will keep the extension attached to the body so it doesn't, again, hang out the side. Let's do the same thing for our right side. Single wrapped twice, pulled onto 7 sets of double bands. This is all green again. Six and 7. Oops. This goes opposite the other chain that we placed on. We're going to connect it at the bottom peg once more and grab a piece out of each section to secure it on our other pegs. Alright, we can begin to loop. We're going to go up the middle to start. So go underneath and grab your bottom 2. There should be nothing else in the way. We'll loop them up once. We're going to loop up all of these first greens, just going straight upwards. When you reach the brown, you're going to look for your top 2 and bring them up carefully and back to the right side. And then you go back inside, get your top 2, bring them up to the left. They're going to be a little tighter than the others, so they've got further to go. And keep looping up until we reach your green. Loop up one time. And then we're looping to the sides. Find your top 2, bring them to the left, push it down a little bit, and top 2 to the right. And we're going to stop it there just for the moment. If you've looped that one band up, it's okay. It's not terrible. You can bring it back or you can change the order, but I've decided to loop in the sides first here. It works fine. Now when we come back to the side, you're going to be reaching through the bands with the open part of your hook pointing away from you up, and you're going for the bottom 2 greens each time. And when you get to here, it's bottom browns. We're going to go straight up, so get everything else out of the way. Get your bottom 2, bring them up and over. And you might need to be pushing these bands down as you go, so we do have a lot of bands on our pegs. Watch out that you aren't pulling your triangle holding bands off as you go. So that won't be good. Now on this peg, if you've followed my example here, you have 6 or even more bands. You can pull them out a couple at a time, or you can grab them all, whatever you're most comfortable with. And get your next 2, go straight up, and we'll find our bottom two greens and loop them up and through and into the middle. I'm gonna pull these to the side a little first so I can see them. So there's most of our middle row, there's our side row. We come back to the bottom and repeat the side loop process for our right side. This is actually, this might be the hardest part of this project. We're almost done here. Just the face and hair to go. And the ears, I suppose, but that kind of goes with the face. And be very careful when you're getting those 6 or 8 bands that you are grabbing all of them. And we've brought our greens into the middle, and we're going to loop up the rest of the top waist, starting at that 3rd peg and coming up once and twice. And this can all go onto a holding hook or stay on your same hook. So it goes through the bands on the top center peg, and the rest of this can be carefully removed from your loom. Be especially careful at these, your top bands, top pegs where you have lots of bands, and your extension pieces. There are lots of bands down here too. Remember, we had some doubled over folding bands, and that will affect the tension as you go as well. Okay, so this is ready. Okay, there's your body. If you have any loose bands, you can cinch them in now or a little bit later. I'm just going to turn this around, I think, like so. And we'll come back to the loom and make our face. It's 2 brown bands, or caramel color rather, I'm using. For your hair, come down once top center to the top right and once top center to the top left. Come down once on each of your rows using double brown or hair color bands. We're switching to skin in the middle and coming down twice with double bands again. And on either side we need one more set of double brown. And we'll cinch this all together with some skin tone, 2 from the 3rd side to the 4th center, 2 from the other side to the 4th center. You need 2 doubled over single skin tone bands for your holding bands. One of those will go from across all of your 3rd pegs, triangle, and the other one will go just above it over your 2nd pegs. For your eyes, regardless of whether you're using bands or beads, you need to get them onto a single skin tone. I'm just going to show you with the bands. Take a single, wrap it 3 times. Take another, wrap it 3 times. And slide them both on, but try and keep them just a little bit separate. If you are using the beads, you can thread them on with a hook, or you can take a thin wire, dental floss, or use any other method that works for you. This goes across the 2nd pegs, and we get the hook in between and bring one side of the band up over the 2nd peg in the middle. For our ears, we're going to take a single, wrap it 1, 2, 3, 4. If you don't want ears, that's fine too. Take another single skin tone, double it over, pull it through. You can make these longer if you want, and yeah, I'm just doing it the one time here. This will go onto your third peg down over your skin tone bands. We repeat this for the other side. Single wrapped really tight. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on to a doubled over single. We'll add the body in just a minute, but first let's get the rest of the hair in place. For the hair extensions, I've used a single band, 1, 2, 3, and pulled it onto 5 sets of double hair colored bands. Three, 4, 5, and you have the option, of course, to make it longer or shorter by adding or removing sets to your chain. This goes right on top of the ears on that third peg. And we do this for the right side. 1, 2, 3 to 5 sets. Tack it on that bottom third. And place your body on the center fourth peg. Just transfer the bands off your hook. I'm pulling them down to the side so you can see here. Go underneath and bring your bottom or your first two from the top up and over to the left side. The next two to the right, and the next ones go straight up. I'm going to come up twice here and stop at the eyes. On either side, we're going through all the bands and getting the bottom two, and to the center bottom two. Repeat this on the left, or my right, your left. Both of our right, I'm not sure, I get confused here. Kind of doing this backwards. Loop up one more time, come to the center, and finish looping the middle up with that last band. Take a single band, or two if you want it to be extra secure, and slide your hook through the bands on that top center peg. Bring your single through, place both ends on, and bring one over the other to create a slip knot. Let's take this off the loom. We're just about done here. Okay, figure out which side is going to be your front and which your back, and you're going to pop your hair out accordingly. So you can see here, it's kind of under the face. We just press it to the side, press your eyes through, balance everything out. You can tighten any loose bands you have, and we're going to secure our securing band at the back on a C-clip. Just slide it under a couple of bands. If you want to make a sword, you can play around with pipe cleaner, with Fimo or clay. You can use a paper clip if you can find a good way to manipulate it. As I said, I just used some cardboard and tin foil. You can glue it or tape it. Either way, there is your Tauriel. And I thank you for watching, and I have some other Lord of the Rings and Hobbit patterns out. I hope you'll have a look at them and check out some of my other designs. Thank you for watching.